Hello guys, welcome back to another episode on the Saga channel. Different decor than usual, that's because I'm in a somewhat inspirationless hotel room on my way to Canada to then make it down to the Azores on our next Saga trip, the Saga Atlantic. That trip is full, but the video that you guys just saw, that one is for our upcoming trip, Saga ABYSS Stage 1. Received a lot of questions since we released this trip last weekend. Maybe a little bit of confusion too, and it's because we're doing something a little bit different. This one is a training trip, meaning that every day and every dive of the trip will be a course dive. You will be learning something. That's also why this trip has prerequisites, because what we will be learning is the first steps into technical diving. So we're going to be running through the Tech 40, 45 and Tech 50 curriculum. And in order to be able to participate, you will need to have at least 100 log dives. I actually recommend more. Be a rescue diver, hold a current CPR certification from within the last 24 months. You will need to be an enriched air diver and a deep diver as well. So there are a bit of prerequisites, and they are maybe even on the low end, let's say. That being said, if you do qualify, then you are more than welcome to join. What are we going to do? We're going to, it's a 10-day trip in Utila, the Bay Islands, known to a lot of you, and that's obviously also where I teach the majority of the time. Why Utila? Because it does offer some of the most spectacular steep drop-offs in all of the Caribbean. And of course we have some of those nice offshore seamounts as well. So it's just really an ideal location. Conditions are gentle, especially around that time of the year, March 7 through 17. And it's just an all-round good location for the type of diving that we'll be doing. There are only 6 spots on this trip, and 3 of those spots are designated to back mount gear setup, so doubles. 3 of those spots are designated for side mount configuration. That means it's a bit on a first come first serve or first book first serve basis. For those who are wanting to, or who are left with the option of diving on side mount configuration, there is an additional prerequisite of being a certified side mount diver. A little bit of comfort with side mount is definitely a must. Now, this is not a trip for everybody, because not only are there the prerequisites, but also the additional risk. While of course we are going to make it as safe as we possibly can, there are inherent risks to technical diving that are greater than on recreational diving. We will be going to greater depths. We will be using more specialized gear. We will be using different gas mixtures. So there is always the risk of decompression illness. That risk is greater on this particular type of diving. There is the risk of oxygen toxicity as a result of incorrect gas switches. There is a risk of increased buoyancy difficulties because of the additional equipment requirements. So even though this is a reasonably safe activity in the sense that we are going to obviously address everything we can through training, and we're not going to progress unless everybody is ready to do so, it is very important to be willing to accept that risk if you are seeking to participate on this particular trip. Now, we are releasing another Saga trip this year that is purely travel based, but we thought we'd try something different. We've had a lot of requests of people wanting to venture into technical diving, maybe in some familiar territory, and Utila seemed to us like the perfect place to do that. We are very excited actually about this trip. It's a bit of a bigger undertaking. It will be myself and one of our other technical diving instructors, so we're going to operate on a 3-to-1 ratio, which I think is very, very comfortable. And the trip also includes breakfast and lunch, and of course accommodation. So really everything is taken care of. The only thing we did not include is the course materials. Why not? Because we really need you to obtain those before you participate, and we need you to work through the academics before we get started. That's absolutely crucial. So guys, if you're willing to accept the risks because you're interested in this next step, if you're excited about coming down to Utila and diving off of those deep walls and those sea mounts, that would be great. Let us know. We can get that set up. As always guys, if you want to stay up to date about new trips, some cool gear reviews, or just my general thoughts on scuba diving and scuba instruction, make sure to subscribe to the channel guys. Maybe you can even click the bell icon so you can get notifications. I think that's it for now. We're gonna keep it short and sweet because I'm sitting in front of a window in a boring hotel room. It's the only place that I could really get some light. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.